Hi, this is Jakey, and this is my video on hybrid weapon skills, featuring Ninja. So here we are on Ninja, using Great Katana and Dynamis Juno. Cap damage. Well, that went pretty well. Let's give it a few more tries. As you can see, very disappointing 76k here. Of course, still more than enough to one-shot the mob. Now just under 9k. The mob died before the magic damage happened. And cap damage again. We should see how normal katanas do. As you can see, Blade Chi still doing cap damage. As many of you may know, in Dynamis Divergence Juno, Waves 1 and 2, the blue eyes take an extra 50% damage. This of course makes everyone's numbers much more impressive than usual, but that would still mean you need 66,000 damage normally to be doing cap damage with that bonus. And hybrid weapon skills, while strong, usually aren't doing that without at least geo bubbles. So what's going on here? To answer what is really going on here, we need to look at the formula. Hybrid weapon skill is made up of a physical portion and a magical portion of the weapon skill. The physical portion is just a normal 2-hit, 1 FTP physical weapon skill, which doesn't carry its FTP. You'll note that this does not use the FTP that's listed on BG Wiki, referring to a different portion of the formula, and that this doesn't actually vary with TP at all. This physical portion will benefit from Fosha and weapon skill damage on the first hit. Multi-attacks still have a chance to proc, and you get multipliers from the likes of Subbing Dragoon for its special weapon skill bonus, as well as any physical damage or slashing damage boost. In this case, the Dynamis Juno Blue Eyes. Now to calculate the magic damage, which gets added to the physical damage for your final result, you actually take the physical damage that you already calculated, you multiply it by the FTP as listed in BG Wiki. So this is where the damage varies with TP, and it varies very strongly with TP. You add your magic damage, and then you multiply all that by these sorts of usual things you multiply any elemental weapon skill by here. Magic attack bonus over magic defense bonus, affinity, weapon skill damage, which you'll note was also part of the physical damage formula. That's why weapon skill damage is very strong. Your day bonuses, the Dragoon bonus again. So again, the Subbing Dragoon, very strong. And any other magic bonuses, such as in this case, again, the Dynamis Juno Blue Eyes 50% bonus, which again was already calculated in the physical portion, so it gets counted twice. A side effect of this formula is that because there's magic damage that gets added, you should still see some damage when you use a hybrid weapon skill against an invincible mob. assuming you have some magic damage on your weapon or somewhere in your gear. And so here you see I got a little over 1,000 damage hitting an invincible mob. It is only 1,000 damage, so for most of the formulas later on, I'm going to simplify the formula by ignoring the magic damage. While we're at it, you'll see that it does miss against perfect dodge as well. Now let's see how much our hybrid weapon skill damage is benefiting from the zone buff. Well, we're quickly able to see that the physical damage gets the expected 50% bonus, but because that gets compounded in the magic portion is getting an extra 125% damage, meaning that our total damage has to be somewhere in between 50% and 125% of where it was to start with. To work that out, we have to plug in our gear, so this will vary from person to person what your gear is, as well as the magic defense bonus of the mob and how much TP you're using. So we assume just 100 magic defense bonus and the 3k TP. We plugged all that in and we see that I got just over 118% damage increase due to the 50% bonus. Finally, let's look at the gear I use a bit. You'll find a lot of sets that look just like this posted on the forums. I use Path B SU5 Katana. Expect many other katanas like Ambuscade or Aeonic should work fine here. The offhand, I use a Magian TP bonus so that I don't have to save up TP like I did with the Great Katana. After all, I don't actually need catch damage to one-shot the mobs, so much more efficient to have a faster weapon skill frequency. Relic head and legs. Meriting of in makes the relic head even better if you can stay behind the mobs. Herc is augmented for strength, MAB, magic accuracy, and weapon skill damage. And you'd be surprised how much room I still have for improvement on those augments. Not even talking dark matter. It's an Orpheus sash. Cape is the same one used for Blade 10. Now if you are looking closely, you'll see that my attack is actually pretty low. That's part of what makes this weapon skill so buff dependent. And the reason I subbed Ward, despite the fact that I said Dragoon sub was so great. I needed Berserk just so that I could continue doing cap damage on wave 2, given that I knew we didn't have any Geos with us. Like most magic damage, Geo Malaise, of course, provides a huge bonus to hybrid weapon skills. But frailty can be just as important because otherwise you really struggle to cap attack. Hybrid weapon skills are further limited by each one having a very specific element. And if the mob you're fighting is strong to that element, you're not going to want to use that hybrid weapon skill. In addition, you need mobs that take decent amounts of both physical and magical damage. Oftentimes they're strong to one or the other, and again, your hybrid weapon skills will suffer. Finally, their skill chain potential is somewhat lacking. Usually limited to just opening multi-step skill chains because they lack tier 2 skill chain properties. I hope you learned something about hybrid weapon skills. Please like and subscribe. I'm planning a series of videos on various other mechanics in Final Fantasy XI.